Namaste, CiC Learning, Chapter 2, Perceptions, Narratives, and Learning. Let's explore this chapter with the question which came a few days back. Whether children should go to protest site or not. And there is not a single answer. It varies, especially in a current bipolar world where we are habitual to look everything as yes or no, or something which suits us. We need to learn how to hold a multi-diverse, plural way of things and accept each other's. An opinion, yes, answer is yes and no, both. So let us look into various points around this topic. So we can look from the 6 point of views today. There can be many more and there can be many more nuances in each of them. I would be limiting myself to few. Convenience. The most easiest convenient way is avoid looking, talking, and just saying no. You are not meant for that. You are still small, and of course, they can't participate as they are not eligible. That can be most convenient answer to that question. And that is also fair enough if your belief and your convictions are so strong about those things. The answer can come with the concern towards I, concerns of a risk of getting involved into such a protest, a risk of a life, a risk of study, a risk of many things. So if we have such a concern of I, me and my family, me and my child's future, then you are well enough to decide your answer. But be mindful and aware that from where your no is coming from, or from where your yes is coming from. And behind this yes and no, there is a multi-diverse things. Let's look into something more, consent for all. And that is a bigger challenge. And this can be seen from a many angles. Consent for all is not only my child, future child, my child's own future, and every other children's future is on a stake with such an educational system and such an educational conditions where 22 lakh students appear for a few thousand seats. It's a high enough competition. So of course, everyone is going to fight for those things. Can we change this scenario? Can this become more collaborative in nature? Can be a later on discussion point. But if you have a concern for all, it can be also a concern that if I bring my child to the protest site, it can harm other person's life and make public more difficult with those things. Or it can be concern for raising the voice for everyone. When my child wants to raise that voice, and you decide. From this convenience and concerns, we come to very courageous. We are ready to accept, stand for the truth. Now, this truth also is not something which you believe into. You need to really do a research, really get into that silent zone, and not fall prey of media, market, and military. That's something common sense. If you have a courage, yes, children can go. And that's what we have seen. Some children have went there. Participate into it. But if you don't have a courage, or you wish courage to be inculcated in your child, then of course the next thing that is needs to be done, that is a conversation. It is not possible for everyone to leave the job and go to the protest site, leave the study and go to the protest site. But at least to have a healthy democratic conversation. not just sharing point of views and putting your opinion at the topmost. A healthy conversations. What do you think? What do you feel about it? Why it matters? Why it doesn't matter? Whatever your part is, that conversation is really very, very, very important. And finally, communication. At the end, whatever your action and your inner state and your outer behavior, you are communicating something to your child, to the younger generation, and to the whole world, and also to the government. Let us look into this communication part a little deeper now. There are four parts into communications, which I'm going to touch now. I would like your patience to go with me and follow the chain of thoughts. So, first, is it a fight? Because now it has turned up more like me versus them, you versus something, and all of that. It's a fight or not? That's the first question I would like to have a communication about. Whom are we really fighting? The third, some stories, because that makes it more lively. There is so many things to learn with what is happening around. And finally, the message which we would like to communicate to our children, to the society, and to the future generations. Let's get into it now. Is it a fight? It is way you look at it. It all depends how you look at it. It is a fight, yes. If you look at it, if you take the political, social justice point of view, it is a fight. The reforms are required. Certain needs and demands are there. And if you are not met, you are fighting. No. If we take a point of view of a healthy democracy, it is okay to sow the dissent and be a part of a larger discussion forum. It is not a fight. It's a family matter. It is not a fight. It's a family matter where until that other person is not convinced to listen to you, you don't leave your point. And have a healthy discussion, and either a party agree to something which is higher, noble, good for every one of us. Let's continue and explore further. There is fight against whom? Is it a person? No. Is it a party? No. Is it a government? No. Is it a system? No. Is it a belief? It's something deeper, very much pertaining. But all of these five are representing that right now. Or in all these five, those things are very much ingrained. Somewhere that corruption, that impurity has get into their thoughts, in their actions, in their behaviors. So this fight is not against a person, party, government, or system, to be precise. But yet we are fighting a person, party, government, system, and belief. This would be very clear with the story which I'm going to share next. So this story, the 17th man of MCC team. The year is 1933, almost 100 years ago. Vijay Merchant, the Indian captain and a famous top order batsman of Indian cricket team of that era. An MCC team was touring India that time in 1933. Vijay Merchant's sister, Lakshmi Merchant, has returned from the stadium and she came to meet Mahatma Gandhi. And after that meeting, she wanted his autograph. So she gave a pen and a book to Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi turned around the pages and signed as 17th man of MCC team. Lakshmi Merchant took it and showed that why did you sign it here? And Vijay Merchant, I think, was also there. That's what I have read in my English textbooks. And the question was asked to Gandhiji that why did you sign? Aren't we fighting Britishers? And Gandhiji said, I am not fighting with us every citizens of a British. I'm fighting against that thought that rulers. And here is our first communication message that we are not fighting against a person, party. We are asking for accountability to show the path, model the behavior, set the example that how a leader takes the responsibility and how it deals with it. One. Number two, Mahatma Gandhi clearly says that he is not fighting against the British citizens. The fight is not against each and every Britishers. The fight is against that thought, that belief to rule somebody, to torture somebody, that violence that goes beyond the party and the government and the person. That is something we also need to learn. Gandhiji knew this, in fact, very well. We all know what happened in 1922 in Chori Chora, and Gandhiji stopped the protest. He wanted to educate the people. He wanted to upbring and uplift them and handle the freedom and independence. And something similar kind of a thing currently is also happening in our country. We could have got our independence 20 years before 1947. Yes, you are hearing it right. Britishers were ready to give, just like they gave it to Australia and South Africa, the independence, or some other colonies. We denied it. We asked for a total, complete independence. Why? Because Gandhiji thought that we are not ready. And even after 75 years, we are not ready. And that's why we got such kind of a leaders. So that pain of Gandhiji still remains. Maybe Gandhiji might be wrong. If that time we have got the freedom, maybe a partial freedom, partial independence, we might have done something more better. We would have learned something much better. There is always a scope for something. So not going into whether he was right or wrong, but the important part and the message is, are we learning something? Have we yet learned to do a peaceful protest and have a peaceful discussion? 540 people is not able to agree on a common agenda to discuss. It's a failure of our democracy. It is not this party or that party. It is overall that 540 people need to take that responsibility about that failure. That how come they are not able to sit and then decide what we would discuss, when we would discuss, and agree on that first. And they are keep on fighting. That story. Let's go to our next stories, which we can share it with the children. This story comes to Vinoba Bhave's when he was, I think, after independence or during Bhutan movement. He was asked about education systems and some conversations around that. And he said, it's written in his book, you can go and check. He said, I'm surprised why the student of this country not coming out and saying that why we are being taught in such a third class way, why we have such a third class education system. Are we still a third class country? It's a small anecdote, it's not a story. If you really want to a story, look, we know about various stories related with education, and you would get plenty of them. There also he talks about how to differentiate between whom we are fighting against. Fighting with the respect. Respect. These are the two stories. Let us sum up with the final message which we would like to learn and pass on. What is my inner state? Do I get perturbed, disturbed? If there is a lot of rage, anger, frustration of what is going on? Or my inner state is so much of helping falsehood to spread? Or I am calm enough to check and verify all the informations coming to me? So first and foremost, check our inner state continuously. Second, if I am calm enough, neutral enough, equanimous enough, and I put forth my words, it is a voice. But if I just reiterating based on some information I have received, a partial information or a partial knowledge of that subject, and then it becomes a noise. So what are we passing? A voice or a noise? And that makes it a more part. That what are we really truly fighting? If we keep it us versus them, this party versus that party, then this fight will go on and on and on. That's what we are seeing. With the endless war happening in the name of peace, in the name of religion, because somewhere we are sowing a wrong seed. That they did it, so my son would go and fight against them, then their son would come back and fight against me and my generations, and this fight would be never end. It's a never ending story then. Don't we want to have a full stop on this? Huh. We need to understand this fight is against the greed, competition, to establish collaboration. This fight is against attachment and more. This fight is against lust and an undue use and abuse of a power. This fight is against anger, sensations, jealousy, and so on. That's our real fight. Because it is few people in whose mind, whose heart, such a thoughts and such a feelings came. Bribe somebody, to leak something, cheat. Aren't we looking into those things? This is so much present in our whole society. And how can we fight that? And the last, what is our true need and a demand? Resignation can be a first step. That is important. But it is not a real need, a true need and a demand. This is something much higher, much deeper. Then only we can build a world of peace, and on that peace we can build a world of harmonious, joyful, where children are free, without fear, they can give their hands and can walk. So this is it today from my side. Namaste.